You got to pump it up.
You know you pump
Welcome.
it up.
We're back. We're back, bitches. We're back. That's right. It's me. It's me. Wait, I don't do that anymore. It's just the Matt and Scott show here
What's up?
on Huge Pop Entertainment. This is Breaking the Huddle. This is the rebirth of part like 20 for this show, but we will get it to a science very shortly. And so we haven't been here since week 3, so we've taken about a 4-week hiatus ish. A lot's happened in college football. The landscape is weird. It is definitely the rankings. Let's take a look at the rankings first, I guess. Before we jump into we're about halfway through the season right now, I think, in college football.
4 games left.
Just over the halfway point. A lot of things have changed. Michigan has lost 2 games. They're sitting at 25. Arizona State, 24. The Illini, they're 23. The mighty Texas Longhorns have fallen, ladies and gentlemen. They're all the way down to 23 or 22. Arch Manning might not be as advertised, but it is what it is. Maybe he's overhyped. Maybe things aren't. Maybe he isn't who we thought he was. Hey, at the end of the day, he's still just a kid, right? He's
right. Just a kid.
Cincinnati at 21, LSU at 20, Louisville at 19. After beating the Miami Hurricanes last week on Friday night, was it Friday night? They won that game. Yeah, they played early. Yeah. They played early in the week. They beat them on Friday night. USF at 18, Tennessee 17, the Virginia Cavaliers at 16, the Mizzou 6-1 Missouri Tiger team at 15. Texas Tech, one of the best teams in the nation. I will stand by that all day long. They're very good. They're 14. OU, Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner at 13. Those pesky Notre Dame Fighting Irish are sitting at 12, and we'll get to that. I have a take on that. BYU, a very good BYU, 7-0. They are sitting at 11. And then in the top 10, we have 6-1 Vanderbilt. That team's really good. I'm going to say it right now. That team's really good. The University of Miami fell out of the top 5 to number 9. They'll be okay. They just couldn't get the job done against Louisville. Ole Miss at 8. Georgia Tech at 7. Oregon, Big Ten school. That's 1. At 6. Georgia at 5. Bama at 4. Texas A&M, in my opinion, out of the next 3 teams, is better than the next 2 after A&M, Indiana sitting at 2, and Oklahoma and that team from Columbus sitting at 1. Now, I honestly, if it started today, I would put my money on A&M winning a national championship.
If I had to do it today, I am super, super impressed with Indiana. I said this last year. Last year might have been a fluke, but this year, man, that team is incredible. Just watching that team. Indiana used to be like bottom of the barrel of the Big Ten, when I remember growing up. But, man, that Big Ten conference is no joke. I'm just going to say that.
Now, like I said, I want to talk about Notre Dame real quick before we get into our picks. They're 5-2 on the season. Their 2 losses. Let's look at their schedule. They lost to Miami on the road. They lost by 1 in overtime lost by 1 to Texas A&M. blew out Purdue, blew out Arkansas, blew out Boise State, and blew out NC State. USC gave them a game last week. Why, in your opinion, because I have mine, why is a 5-2 Notre Dame team sitting at number 12 and not lower?
Well, it's all about, in my opinion, it's all about nostalgia. It's all about the name. You have to have that. For some reason, NCAA thinks that they need to put this non-conference team, independent team, I guess, up at 12 at a 5-2 when there's a lot better teams out there that are 5-2. I mean, I could compare Michigan's schedule to Notre Dame's schedule. The only thing that's different between Notre Dame's wins losses, I believe, if I'm correct, is Michigan couldn't get the job done against USC, and Notre Dame did. That'd be my reason why. I've never liked a non-conference school. I mean, that somehow, some way, Notre Dame always finds themselves up in the top 10. No discredit to them because they do got they got some great players. I'm not gonna sit here and say, they suck, but I don't know why they'd be up at 12 and not down at 20. Well, where's Miami ranked?
Miami's ranked 9th.
Yes, you're only 3 spots away from Miami, and
my big thing is they're ahead of a 6-1 Oklahoma team. They're ahead of a 6-1 Texas Tech team,
right,
and a 6-1 Mizzou team. All 3 of those schools should be higher than them. They play in a conference. They play in one of the Power 5 conferences. Why aren't those guys getting like Louisville? Louisville, they went and beat Miami. They're 5-1 right now. How are they ranked below Notre Dame that has a 2-loss team?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it.
It's always been the mystery, man.
So that's the top 25. And like I said, if I'm picking a team to win the whole thing going from here, it's without question Texas A&M. That team is ridiculous. That team is insane.
Yeah.
They're fast, they're physical, and they're coached very well. It'll be interesting because we might see a two Big Ten teams in the with first round byes in the playoffs because Indiana doesn't play Ohio State in the regular season. They'll play each other in the Big Ten championship. So if they do what they've done to every SEC situation like this, they should put 2 Big Ten teams with first round byes. They should, but they won't because they're biased towards the SEC and the others. But so let's start off in the ACC. This game I picked this week as a showcase of what the ACC could really be, and that's really competitive football. NC State Wolfpack travels to Pitt. That's on the ACC network, which is also on the ESPN app. And at 3:30 in Pittsburgh, 5.5-point favorites, Pittsburgh. Who do you got? And by the way, NC State's 4-3, Pittsburgh's 5-2.
I'm going to put Pitt because of this. They've had 3 straight games. You know, they won 3 straight games. NC State was on a bye last week. We all know what happens coming off a bye. If you're not ready, you get a little bit of rust. I don't think you can have rust when you come up against Pitt, especially when you're at Pitt at home. I have Pitt winning by 6.
I've become a really big kind of a fan of Pitt in general, their program, after watching them have a very physical, very fun football game against my boys in Mount Pleasant. I'm going to take Pitt, and I think they're going to have enough. It's a 5.5-point spread. I think they at least they win by at least 2 scores here. I just don't think that they're going to have. I don't think they're going to have any issues. I think Pitt They're fast. They're physical. They beat Florida State 2 weeks ago, and they beat up on Syracuse. Without question, I think Pitt has a legitimate shot at winning the ACC this year. Next on our docket is the Big 12. The Big 12 match of the week for as far as what I picked was this one comes with a 2.5 point spread. It's an unranked Iowa State sitting at 5-2, a very good Iowa State team. Taking on number 11th ranked BYU at 3:30 on Saturday on Fox.
What's BYU's record?
What now?
What's BYU's record?
BYU 7-0.
7-0. I've always loved Iowa State. They're always gritty, always mean. I did watch a little bit of their game last week. Their defense needs to step it up. I think if the defense steps it up, I think Iowa State surprises and beats BYU, especially being at Iowa State. So I'm taking Iowa State by 3.
Now, they've dropped the last two at home. They were on the road the last 2 games. Lost to Cincinnati in a barn burner, 30-38. And then last week they got lost by 7 to a mediocre Colorado team. I'm going to go BYU. BYU's just killing it. They have a kid on this team. I got to make sure I get his name right. They have a freshman quarterback. His name is Bear Bachmeier. Bear. I'm not kidding you. It's Bear Bachmeier. The dude is a freshman. He's 6'2", 220 out of Murrieta, California. The kid's already thrown for 1,000 yards.
Wow.
9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. His QBR is 75.9. Kid's nuts as a freshman. I say, and it kills me because one of my coaches at CMU went to Iowa State, and I try to pick the Cyclones. I try to be a homer for him, but I just don't think that Iowa defense has enough in the tank to handle Bear and his crew. So I'm going to go Bear Bachmeier and the BYU Cougars.
Okay.
Next on the list is the Big Ten. That's not a Michigan game. I picked an old school, bang 'em out, original Big Ten game for this one. I'm picking Minnesota versus Iowa, 3:30 on CBS. It's an old school, just smash mouth. Hopefully that's what we'll see. Iowa at home, 8.5 point favorite.
Did some note we're taking. I think that, Minnesota has a chance if they come in like powerhouse defense like we know them to do. They have an excellent deep, that's what, like Max said, it's going to be powerhouse. It's going to be smash mouth. But I think because Iowa's running back Kamari Moulton is healthy, I think if Minnesota doesn't have good defense, he's going to have a heyday and he's going to score. And I think my pick, of course, by the way, Iowa is one of my favorite stadiums. I love how the hospital's up on the top and they all wave, and I think that's cool. I think Iowa by 14.
As much as I want to pick the Golden Gophers because of PJ Fleck, who was a former MAC coach at Western Michigan University, by the way, buck the Broncos. But Minnesota is 5-2, Iowa's 5-2, and just comparing their losses, Minnesota got handled 42-3 against Ohio. Ohio State just beat them 42-0. And then their second loss was to California on the road by 14. That was one that they dropped early in the season that they probably shouldn't have. That being said, the losses for Iowa. They lost to Iowa State early in the season before Iowa State started struggling. And they only lost by 3. And then their other loss was to a very good Indiana team 3 weeks ago by 5. They held that high-powered Indiana offense to 20 points, 3 scores. Okay, 3 scores in that game. Indiana scored 10 points in the first half, 10 points in the second half, 10 in the fourth quarter. It was tied 10-10 at halftime. Iowa will take this game and use it as their springboard to get back into the top 25. I think they beat the brakes off of Minnesota tomorrow or on Saturday. I don't think it's going to be the close of a game as we think it is. I think that they take that 8.5 point favorite and double it. Next on the list, we're going to Maction. That's not a CMU game. This one, it took me. This is the best interconference matchup we have of the week. A 4-3 Western Michigan Broncos team heading to Miami, Ohio to take. I'm sorry, not Miami, because they are in Oxford, Ohio, and playing the Miami of Ohio Falcons. That's what they are. I don't. Anyway, the Miami of Ohio Redhawks, but anyway, it's a Western Mich is 1.5 point favorite.
I slowly picked this
1.5.
I slowly picked this game because I really don't know nothing about these teams. I slowly picked it on my hatred for Western Michigan growing up in Michigan, going to CMU games. Western Michigan week was phenomenal. My brother and I participated in a Western CMU game. We watched as fans, and stuff. And I will never vote for Western Michigan, so I'm going Miami of Ohio.
It's a coin flip, honestly, for me. But you're right. There is no part of me that will ever say, go that team from Kalamazoo. I will never say that.
Nope.
Thanks for joining Matt To-Do List. Appreciate your continuing support of our programming here. Appreciate you, and thank you again. But yeah, I'm going to go, obviously, Miami of Ohio, because I want them to have a better record when CMU potentially could play them for a MAC championship game at the end of December, at the middle of December. Next up, we have the SEC. There's a couple games on the list that I sent over to Scott this morning, and they are all going to be bangers. We'll start with one of the lesser known ones. We have a very good Missouri team at 15. They're both teams are 6-1. The 15th ranked Missouri Tigers travel to Nashville, Tennessee, to take on the Vanderbilt. What are they? What is Vanderbilt like?
Are you sure you said that? I thought you gave me. Hold up.
It's like the third one down.
Ole Miss. Why did I have Ole Miss at Oklahoma?
That's one of them.
Oh, Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Okay. And then A&M versus LSU.
Yep.
And then Vanderbilt versus Michigan.
Missouri.
Yeah, Vanderbilt and Missouri at Vanderbilt. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're going to start with the Missouri Vanderbilt game because that's probably the least glamorous one out of all of them. A 6-1. Vandy has a 2.5 point favorite. That's 3:30 on ESPN. I guess I'll start this one. I really liked Vanderbilt this year. They have a dude on that team. Their quarterback. His name is Diego Pavia.
Yep.
The dude is a 6 foot, 207 senior quarterback from Albuquerque, New Mexico. The guy's just insane. The guy has 1,569 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, with a QBR of 85.2. The kid is having himself a season. On the other side of the ball, we have Mizzou, who's just a bunch of dogs. Mizzou's quarterback, again, we talk about the quarterback because he is the guy that leads the team typically on offense. Bo Prabilla, a senior as well. So we'll have 2 seniors under center facing each other. 6'2", 212-pound quarterback out of York, Pennsylvania. He's got 1,612 or 617 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with a QBR of 77.7. I again, it's for me, this being such a tight game, I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna say Vanderbilt, led by Diego. But yeah, that's who I'm taking. I'm taking Vandy.
Yeah, Matt hit it all on the head. Stats wise, except we're home. Vanderbilt has that great quarterback, Diego. The other side of the ball, Missouri's quarterback's not bad either. I'm picking Vandy, but I wish Cody Cornett was on here because I got a stat that I thought Matt would have, but he didn't. Vanderbilt climbed in the top 10 in the AP poll for the first time in 78 years.
Wow.
They're playing good ball. They're hungry. I'm going to say Vandy. Keep it rolling.
Well, their one loss came to a very good Alabama team in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where, like, okay, they lost by 16 to Bama on the road. Yeah, you still have to give it to them.
Yeah, you still got to rank them up there, yeah, of course.
So next on the list, we'll go with the Ole Miss traveling to Norman to take on and again, both teams are 6-1. Both teams are 6-1. Oklahoma has a 5.5 point favorite in that game.
I pick Oklahoma. Boomers. I've seen what they did to Michigan, right? Yeah, Michigan. And Ole Miss, man, if they play their defense plays like they did against Georgia, which was absolutely ridiculously not there, they showed no defense at all. I watched some clips. And I'm like, holy crap. They're gonna get dog walked by Oklahoma. So I'm saying Oklahoma all day. You're in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's defense is great. Oklahoma wins by 2 scores.
Now, I'm going to run down the 2 stats, and then I'll make my decision. Quarterback, I'm in the college ranks. Quarterbacks will make and break a team. We've seen it time and time again. If your quarterback can't perform and get the ball and deliver those shots down the field and make those plays with his feet and be a playmaker at the college level, it's actually more important to have a quarterback that can do the things you need than in the pros, because at least in the pros you have someone that can make the play on with his feet after catching the ball. Now, John Mateer is the junior quarterback out of Little Elm, Texas, for Oklahoma. He's a 6'1", 224 junior. His stats are 1,567, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 72.2 QBR. You cannot turn the ball over in the SEC. You cannot do that. And he's going to be the key to the game, and I'm going to say that. He will be the key to Oklahoma winning or losing. Because you cannot let a guy like Trinidad Chambliss have the ball. He takes care of the ball. He has 1,549 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, 84.4. I'm taking Ole Miss simply because of Chambliss. He won't turn the ball over. That's the key. He just doesn't turn the ball over. Okay. And that's the kind of guy I want under center. All right. So I'm going to take Ole Miss on this one.
Even though their defense against Georgia sucked.
I mean,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, if you don't turn the ball over, then that obviously you have that.
Well, the way the final score was 43-35, so no one played defense. You know, who's that coming down the track? It right. was, everyone was. Right. Like everyone was scoring that game. But you look at their other games that they held LSU to 19 points. They beat Arkansas for. See, that's the thing. In the SEC, no one plays defense.
Right.
I'm going to go. I'm still going to go Ole Miss wins on the road because I don't think that Oklahoma is an SEC school.
Right.
They are a Big 12 school. They are that, whatever. Next and final one for the SEC, we have Texas A&M traveling to Death Valley to take on LSU.
So, going to Death Valley.
And by the way, the spread on this is A&M 2.5.
I have to say, Death Valley, if you want to call home field advantage, going there at night. The one thing that LSU has going for them is the home field advantage. But their offense is struggling. They're giving up points. Brian Kelly's on the hot seat. Texas A&M, like Matt said, is on fire. They're going to be in the conversation come title time. I think Texas A&M is good enough to cover this 2.5 point spread. I say they beat them by 10. Texas A&M by 10.
Again, we'll look at the numbers. We'll look at quarterback numbers. Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback for the LSU Tigers. He's a 6'1", 205 senior out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. His season stats right now are 1,638, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 73.6 for QBR. The dude coming into the season was one of my Heisman finalists. He's still in that bubble range. I still think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. But he needs to really dial it in. He needs to really focus on not turning the ball over. Because, again, you cannot turn the ball over to the SEC monster that is Marcel Reed. Right. Marcel Reed is 6'1", 185 sophomore. He's a sophomore playing at an elite level out of Nashville, Tennessee. 1,770, 15 touchdowns, 4 picks with a 72.3 QBR. Marcel just a different dude. He's a different animal.
Right.
And looking back at their hold on, they didn't even. They're 7-0.
Who?
A&M. They're 7-0.
Yeah.
The losses that LSU's had, a very good on the road to last week to Vanderbilt. Ole Miss beat them. That's their two losses. Vanderbilt, Ole Miss. They lost to the ranked teams. That's what you. That's acceptable at times. Make it the third one, because Texas A&M will beat them in Death Valley. Brian Kelly should be concerned with losing his job. That's just how it is. Period. You know, he was hired to take LSU to a national championship like he did for Notre Dame. Like, he was hired to take them to the elite level like he did for Notre Dame. And he has not delivered.
Nope.
And my disdain for him has gone for a long time. He's an asshole. I don't like Brian Kelly, never have, never will. Because it's just how he leaves his teams. Like when when Brian Kelly was at CMU, he left before he could have at least coached his bowl game or whatever. He left.
Yep.
Left Cincinnati, went to Notre Dame, same kind of thing. Left Notre Dame for LSU, same kind of thing.
Yep.
He doesn't care about the kids, in my opinion.
Yep.
But that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion. That's not any whatever. But in the end game, A&M's just going to outdo everything that they do.
Right.
And then we go to Big Brother versus Little Brother. We go to Michigan State in East Lansing. Michigan comes into said game 14.5-point favorites to win the ball game. When you're on the road in the Big Ten and you open up line in a rivalry game and you're 14.5-point favorites.
So my brother has more confidence than me. I mean, I pick Michigan. I do. But there's always that game that makes you nervous, right? I give you reasons why that game makes me nervous. A block punt when the game should have been taken care of. That's one. There's others that I can't. But that block punt is the most one I remember the most. I'm in a restaurant and my son and I are watching the game, and all of a sudden it's block punt and we lose. Okay. Michigan has the best running game in the Big Ten, in my opinion. They're fast. They're at a high level. But you really can't. I mean, Michigan State has. You guys got to remember Andrew Marsh, Amari Kelly, right? They got some good receivers. But I don't think the quarterback's going to have enough time to get that ball to those guys because our defense, the way our defense has been playing, is amazingly awesome. My concern is I've always been as a Michigan guy, as a Michigan Wolverine fan, as a Detroit Lions fan. What is one of our biggest concerns? Well, our biggest concern is can we stop the pass? Always has been. Even when we have good corners and good safeties, it's always been, can we play good pass defense? I think we got dialed in. I think we're ready for the game. I think we have no problem winning by 14. We should win by more. I hope we make a statement. I hope we go out and win by 21, but Michigan definitely will win.
Now, this week, I'm going to say this. I hope Michigan State's kicker is dialed in. I hope he's dialed in and he's ready to kick a lot of field goals. And I want that to happen for a couple reasons. Or I hope they punt a lot too. Just so we can see a family member out on the field. Well, it's a family member to Jennifer. It's on my wife Jennifer's side. Her cousin's kid is a long snapper for Michigan State.
Cool.
He's a true freshman, arguably one of the best long snappers in the Big Ten, and could potentially end up being the best in the nation. The kid is super fast, very good at what he does, and he gets downfield. That's the one X factor that I have for Michigan State. His name is Jack Wills. His number is 87. So keep an eye on him, and watch how fast that kid can be. And he played his high school ball at Hudsonville over in near Grand Rapids. So I'm rooting for Jack to succeed, and he can have a good game. I will never say go green in this situation. I will never be rooting for Sparty. I will never pick them in this. Never. They could be the number one team in the nation, and we could be and whatever. I'm picking Michigan every day of the week because we are better than they are, and they know it. That's just how things work. It truly is. And I'm not even going to bore you with the stats on this one, because the quarterback is a sophomore. The quarterback that they have is a junior. Aiden Chills or Chili's or whatever he's or Charles. 6'3", 225 out of Long Beach, California. It's getting cold. It's getting cold in Michigan. You better have 2 layers on, son, because it's going to get even colder. That game's going to be played at night. Welcome to the big show. And of course, you have Bryce Underwood leading the way for. He's a freshman, 6'4", 228 out of Detroit, Michigan. He knows all about the cold weather at night. He knows how to play in it. He's going to be a gamer. I just hope they start letting him off the leash a little bit and be able to do some damage on his own. But he's not having a bad season. He's 1,440 with 7 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. He keeps the ball he keeps the ball safe. So Bryce and company wins that ball game.
Yeah.
Now, the next game, the last game for college football, and I had essentially, I'm not going to pick the game. I'm just going to talk about it. Scott can pick it. Us at CMU, we're 4-3, going into homecoming. We beat Bowling Green last week. We are currently a 15.5-point favorite in this game. 3:30 on Saturday in Kelly Short Stadium. I'll be in attendance. Andrew will be in attendance. We're going to be rooting on our CMU Chippewas. And I'm telling you what, we have something special brewing. I'm just going to say it. We have something very special brewing. We have 2 guys under center right now that just kill it. We have Joe Labus, senior quarterback. We have Angel Flores. He's a junior. He can do everything. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. And we have 4 guys. Who in the country can say they have 4 running backs that can kill you with their speed and the way they play football? Nobody. We got Angel, our quarterback, can burn you with his feet. We have Nare Biggins. We have Brock Townsend. We have Trey Cornish. We have Langston Lewis to touch the ball running it. We have 5 guys 4 on a consistent basis that could put up 100 yards on you on the ground. That's my sales pitch. And our defense, Jesus Christ, our defense is killing people. We played the game the right way, and we're going in. And again, fire up chips. I'm not going to call the game. I'm not going to pick the game. But I think by me selling this to you, you know who I'm picking.
If CMU loses this game, something needs to happen because they're going against a UMass team that I think is 0-7. Michigan CMU is playing some great ball. You know, they have 3 losses, but those were close games for the majority of it. At home, on homecoming week, CMU all day. And by the way, Matt's picking CMU, just in case anybody knows.
What?
I said, oh, by the way, Matt picked CMU if you guys are stupid enough not to get that.
Well, we went and watched practice last night. And these individuals, I mean, these kids as a collective, all 170 of these kids are dialed in. They're working their ass off. It was miserable. It was cold, rainy. These kids were all out there putting in the work and getting it done. They could have easily decided, we're going to go in the turf bay. But nah, it's Michigan. It's Michigan. It is October. It is cold. It is rainy. We're going to play in it probably on Saturday. And we're going to make it happen. We want to be tough. We want to get the job done. And again, being part of the program itself for me, even though I'm just part of building services, is really cool. We were walking around practice, checking the offensive line out, checking the defensive line out, checking the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs, everything else. And Coach Drinkle made a point to come over and talk to Andrew one-on-one. He took the time out of his practice to come over and welcome Andrew to practice and talk to him about his season that he had and had conversations with him about offensive line stuff. They talked for about 10 minutes. That's the kind of guy that I want to lead a program. A guy who cares about his kids, not only that are his players, but his kids that are associated with the program. That's the kind of guy I want leading my team. And we couldn't have asked for a better dude than Matt Drinkle. Hopefully when the season's over with, we'll be able to get him on the show and we'll discuss more about his first year as a head coach here at CMU and that kind of stuff. I really look forward to having him on the show in the offseason. Now we go to the National Football League and get into the picks of the week. Tonight's game. Vikings, 3-3 Vikings travel to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. That one is at 8:15 kickoff time. Don't watch that, by the way. Do not waste your time watching prime football. Join us here at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time where we will have Buff Bagwell himself. Buff is the stuff. Bagwell will be here and talking with Scott and I and Reek about his career, about his life in general.
Sir,
be here.
Watch football. You don't need to watch football. Rams are going to win that game. Don't watch it.
Yeah,
just know the Rams are winning.
Don't watch it. Hey, listen. The game starts at 8:15. You can catch the last quarter of it. It'll be fine. You're not going to miss much.
You're good.
Chargers will probably win anyway.
Just skip it.
You'll be fine. Just check the box scores. Just check the box scores tomorrow. But we have the Vikings Chargers in competition with the hottest TikTok-based podcast with us. Vikings travel to Los Angeles The Chargers are 3.5-point favorites.
Chargers. Hey, Matt, talk for a minute. I'll be right back.
So I'm gonna go the Chargers as well. Whoever's watching right now, thank you. I want to take the time to thank you guys for being a supporter of the program. And if you're joining us for the first time, drop us a like, a follow, tell your friends, be a friend, tell a friend. That we love just talking football on Thursdays. We talk wrestling pretty much every other day of the week. This is our kind of a breakdown of what we think the world of football is looking like. We do our weekly picks. We from time to time have special guests, and again, this is thank you. I appreciate that as well. I will probably, hey, listen, Matt, I will be on the Discord probably after this. So if you want to join the Discord, that's another thing I want to do a shout out. We do have a Discord. Is the Huge Pop Entertainment Discord. If you have Discord, check us out there. If you need, if you want the, let's see here. The Discord link, let me look at it. Gosh darn it. I am failing you guys here with this. The Discord link for it's Huge Pop Entertainment. And yeah, just search it up there. Huge Pop Entertainment Discord. I'm on there quite a bit, just shooting the shit with my friends. And we talk wrestling for the most part. We play video games. I do a lot of Madden games with Cody and Matt the Duelist is in there. We play Fortnite a lot. It's just a community of people who just love being around each other, and it's just a good situation to be in. So feel free to come find us at the Huge Pop Entertainment Discord. But yeah, I'm taking the Chargers. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh, former Michigan Wolverine head coach, former Michigan Wolverine football player. He'd been successful everywhere he's coached. So yeah, it's hard not to pick the guy that's been successful. But yeah, I'm going. Give me the lightning bolts. Give me them Chargers. Bolt up. Next on the list, the Jets travel. The 0-7 Jets travel to Cincinnati. 1:00 on CBS.
Well,
Cincinnati 6.5-point favorite.
Yeah, by this point in time, you see the playoffs and the ranking, the standings kind of the top guys pulling away, and the ones below. And unfortunately, the Jets are the ones of those that are below. So I'm picking Cincinnati all day. Yeah,
I mean, neither teams are at this point in the season. I honestly can't see either team in the playoffs. And honestly, Cincinnati, if they started off really hot, and then this shows how important a quarterback is in this league. It shows how important one dude can be for a team, and Joe Burrow is that guy for Cincinnati. Without Burrow, it's going to be tough for them to win some of these games. But they don't. They have Joe Flacco now, and I think Joe Flacco knows enough about that Jets team because he plays them enough. It seems like, shoot. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go Bengals. Yeah, it's kind of one of those. Yeah.
Right.
Next up, we have one of the most impressive turnarounds and one of the biggest downfalls playing each other this week. We had the Bears traveling to Baltimore. The Bears sitting at 4-2. Good job, Ben Johnson, former OC for the Lions there. 4-2. One of his losses came to us, the Lions. But they're going into Baltimore, and Lamar Jackson's been practicing all week. They have Lamar back. Baltimore 6.5-point favorites.
Yo, Kevin, man, I got your back. Baltimore. If they have Lamar Jackson back, that's going to be a tough team to beat. Baltimore.
If Lamar can go the whole game without any issues,
right,
and if Derrick Henry can figure it out, because right now he's not looking like King Henry for whatever reason, I still think Baltimore is the best 1-5 team in the National Football League. They shouldn't be 1-5. I don't understand it. On paper, they should be 6-0, but or at least 5-1. You know, losing to the Lions isn't that big of a deal.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Now, next up, we have the Dolphins, the 1-6 Dolphins, who should fire their coach. Fire him. He sucks. Fire him and trade Tua Tagovailoa CTE. Get rid of him. Sucks. That whole team just sucks. Taking on the Falcons. The Falcons, baby. Atlanta Falcons 3-3 at home. Falcons are 7.5-point favorites.
Matt said it. I ain't not say nothing.
It sucks.
The last time Tualoga, whatever his name was good, he was in his college. He hasn't shown shit since he's been in the pros. I get it. He got hurt, but my God, fire the coach. Get rid of him. No. Sorry, Janae. Sorry, Mr. Robert. No. Your Miami Dolphins blow. Absolutely not.
That Dolphins team is awful.
That's ridiculous.
I'm just wondering who they beat. Because they're 1-6. They beat the Jets. That makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. That's a dumpster fire if I've ever seen one, though, in Miami. Next up, we have Bills Mafia traveling to another surprise team who is at the current time tied for the number one spot in the NFC South, the Carolina Panthers. Buffalo's only 7.5-point favorites here.
They're playing Carolina Panthers, huh?
Yeah.
I like how, Matt said it again. I don't have to say much. Carolina Panthers are proven that they are a decent ball club. I think they're going to give the Bills some struggle. Sorry, Cody Cornett, but your Bills are going down this week. Carolina Panthers, man, by a touchdown.
Cornett, you didn't have Cornett. The Panthers beat the Falcons 30-0. That's the team that beat the Bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, again, I will never pick a team, pick a game because, so-and-so beat them, so they should be able to beat them too. We don't want to get in that that kind of stuff. Statistically speaking, if we're going to pick by, quality of team, don't sleep on the Panthers, but I am going to pick the Bills to win this because Josh Allen over the last 2 weeks has laid an egg. They've lost 2 in a row. I can't see them losing 3 in a row. And if they do, McDermott, you better figure it out because you have on paper an amazing roster full of talented individuals. You can't lose your 3rd in a row. Right. I say they play with urgency and they win. but they have to play a complete game of football. They can't let Carolina stick around. They just can't. Because Carolina's a sneaky good team that will make you pay for making those little mistakes.
Yes.
Next on the board, the 49ers 5-2, another very sneaky good team because they don't have Brock Purdy. They're riddled with injuries right now, but they somehow figure out a way to win. And I'm using my slogan from 2 years ago. Good teams find ways to win. And that's what they're doing right now. And they're traveling to a good team that's finding ways to lose in Houston.
That's a shock to me, man. I really do. I thought I had high hopes for Houston Texans. I really did. I thought they were going to be, but I just don't think they have enough. I think the 49ers, would roll. And Samu Adewaya family, they love the 49ers. I'm picking 49ers. Not because of Samu, but because I think they find a way to win. And the Texans, like Matt said, somehow, some way, with the team that they have, can't get the job done.
Houston is such an anomaly because they don't, on paper, with CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon, just that whole dynamic, they should be good. They should be explosive on offense. They play good defense. But then, like the old wrestling thing is, they look great. And then the bell rang. They look great. And then the kickoff. You know what I mean? Like, what happened? That's one thing I would love to explore a little bit more. Like, just look at the different statistics of their games. But I don't have time for that today. I'm going to go 49ers win. I want to see Houston win to get them back on their feet, but I'm going to just pick them. The next game is a rivalry game. 2 weeks ago, we saw, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we saw these two teams play in New York, where the Giants got their second win of the season against the Philadelphia Eagles. This time, they're going back to Lincoln Financial, and Philadelphia is a 7.5-point favorite.
Oh, against who? Sorry, I had to take a message.
The Giants, the team that beat them 2 weeks ago.
Giants and Eagles, huh?
Rivalry game.
Yeah. Where's that game at? Philly?
It's in Philly, yeah. The link.
Philly has potential. I'm gonna choose Philly over the Giants. I really do. Yeah. I think they're gonna get revenge.
The Giants are another anomaly. They are one of those 2-5 teams. You look at their roster, they're not even supposed to be in these games. They have two of the best young players in the game today. They have at quarterback Jackson Dart, who's just been amazing. And by the way, he's from Ole Miss from last year, tremendous player. And one of the toughest dudes running the ball right now in Cam Scatbo. That dude is just nuts. He runs harder than anyone else in the league. Philly by 7.5. That's the spread. I'm gonna say Philly wins. I'm gonna pick Philly. But it's not gonna be by 7.5. I think it's gonna be by a field goal. I think it's going to be a close game because these two teams, like I said, played 2 weeks ago, and it was a hell of a game. So I'm going to go Philly squeaks one out. The next one up, still in the 1 o'clock hour, the Patriots play host to the Cleveland Browns. The Patriots have been playing very good. They are the leader in the clubhouse in the AFC East. That just blows my mind. I don't understand it, but I kind of saw it coming. Did I not say that they were going to surprise a lot of people in the AFC? Didn't I say if the team that at the beginning of the season I picked them to potentially overtake the AFC East and take it away from the Buffalo Bills? And I think we're almost to that point. If it's not this year, it will be next year. Mike Vrabel in New England. Tennessee, what the hell were you thinking getting rid of that guy? Amazing dude on the sideline. That roster is young, talented, they're hungry, and they want to win ball games. I'm going to take the Patriots by at least 2 scores.
Yeah, that team, I mean, coming from a Lions fan, coming from a guy that could never stand the Patriots will like throw up in my mouth. I had good friends that were Patriots fans. I gave them shit all the time. I think it's because, and I'll be honest, I think it was because it was them every year. Tom Brady, phenomenal. Bill Belichick, phenomenal. You know, all that. We can go all into that Patriots team. You can dissect that Patriots team and take you all day. These guys, when Matt said it at the beginning of the year, I was like, nah. They've sucked for the last couple of years. This year, they're fun to watch. I think the key is that they're young and they want it. They're tired of hearing the naysayers say, oh, that was just a Tom Brady, Belichick thing. They're making a statement. They're gonna kill Cleveland. It's gonna be 2 to 3 scores.
Next up, we have another rivalry game. We have the kickoff, the 4:05 or the 4 o'clock hour at 4:05 on Fox. We have the Buccaneers after their loss to the Detroit Lions on Monday night are heading to New Orleans to take on the Saints at 3-5. A very beat up Tampa Bay team traveling to the Superdome to take on the Saints. 3.5 point favorites for Tampa Bay. They're going to need all 3.5 points. I think the Saints can pull off an upset here. I'm going to take the Saints.
Matt, you know who I'm going to pick without even saying it. Not even though it has to do it. I mean, isn't Baker Mayfield's out, right?
He's still going to play, but he lost his number 1 receiver. And it just felt like, and I don't know if I'm just discrediting my Lions defense, but that offense, once Mike Evans got hurt and was out, the rest of the team just looked lost.
Right. So,
and again, I don't know if it's the noise that Ford Field is creating. I don't know if it's our defense, but they just looked like they were lost and didn't really.
Right. I mean, that team up till the Lions game, that team was putting up points, but Evans gets hurt. Detroit kept them to 9, I believe, that day, right?
Yeah.
9? Defense. I mean, I'm going to give credit to the Detroit Lions defense. That defense was swarming all over that quarterback, and there was times though that Detroit left it open in the middle and there were some good big plays until Evans got hurt. I don't think the Saints have enough because I think the Tampa Bay Bucks are going to come back and try to make a statement. I'm picking the Bucks by a touchdown.
Okay. Next up, we have one of the hottest teams in the league, a team that has turned it around from what they were last year and are currently sitting atop of the AFC South. The Colts playing host to the Titans. Cam Ward just hasn't helped this team turn this team around. 14.5 point favorites for the Colts. You got to go the Colts. You got to pick the Colts in this situation because it's just the Colts.
I have to pick the Colts. I'll just say this. Colts win unless some idiot kicker doesn't show up and do his job.
Shout out Peyton Manning.
Shout out to Peyton
Some idiot kicker. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. The 3-1 Dallas Cowboys travel to the Mile High City and take on the Denver Broncos. And they are the Denver Broncos are 5-2. The Broncos are 3.5-point favorites at home against the Cowboys.
All right. I don't know but I don't really care. I work with a Bronco fan, and I don't care if they watch, but I'm just going to say this. You ever go to the hospital and you hear beep, 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 beep. They've been on life support for so many games, and 9 times out of 10, they lose those games. Somehow they win a game. There ain't no chance in hell, and I hate that because I'm not a Cowboy fan whatsoever. So I got JB over here, Cowboy fan. I got my boss, a Bronco fan. Flip the coin. JB, I'm on your side this week. Go Cowboys. You win by 7 points.
We've been picking against each other a lot this week, and that's what makes this so fun. Because I'm going to go Bronco country. Let's ride.
Nice. All right.
Bo Nix. I'm telling you, Bo Nix, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. I hate Dak Prescott. I hate everything Jerry Jones represents. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I just hate them. I don't know why. They're not even like I would rather watch a Green Bay game than the Dallas Cowboy game at this point. Like I don't know, and I don't know if the fan base is just as bad as that team from Columbus or whatever. But I just don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I will never pick them in a situation. Broncos country, let's ride.
All right. You better be lucky.
Next up, we have the
you better have a fucking more than a 3-point cushion going to the end of the game. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, Bo Nix will take care of it.
Okay, we'll see.
Green Bay, the 4-1-1 Green Bay Packers travels to the Steel City to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, that's Pittsburgh rank. How many?
Green Bay 3.5-point favorites.
What's Pitt's record?
Pitt is 4-2. So really, in theory, the Packers are the same record-ish.
This, like I said about 5-10 minutes ago, this is when teams separate. And fortunately, we're going to see a separation. I hate this game because I know who you pick, and I think I'm going to have to pick with you. I think I'm going Steeler country. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will take this game, especially if it's
a must. It's just a must-win game for the Steelers.
Right.
Mike Tomlin, who has the record for most consecutive seasons above 500 and going to the playoffs, knows the importance of this game in October. He just knows. 3.5-point favorite. Jordan Love is playing very inspired football in Green Bay. Micah Parsons. Again, I might be called delusional when I say this. I might be called stupid and I don't know football. But I don't think Micah Parsons has enough power to make that big of a difference. Right. Green Bay coming into the season, I had competing for the NFC North. That's the only team that I had in the same category as Detroit. I thought Minnesota was kind of going to be And I didn't think Chicago would be that great either. So, yes, the Packers have a very good nucleus and a very good team.
Right.
But they will not beat the Green. They will not be that team and that group of guys this Sunday when they play the Steelers on the road on Sunday Night Football in the Steel City. Right. Green Bay will not win, and the Steelers will extend to the top of the mountain of the AFC North. Okay. Now, here we go. America's team, wink, wink, is playing on Monday Night Football, and it's not the Washington Commanders. It is the Kansas City Chiefs. We have the 4-3 Chiefs who have started to do their climb to another championship. We have Patrick Mahomes finally playing to the point of where he should be. The Kansas City Chiefs are now officially the best team in the AFC. You can take that to the bank. When you have a guy, when he gets all of his weapons correct, all of his weapons are back. Rashee Rice is back. Xavier Worthy's healthy. Travis Kelce's playing like the healthy from 2 years ago. Isaiah Pacheco playing out of his mind. That defense is swarming. They shut down the best offense in the NFC in the Detroit Lions 2 weeks ago. They did that. The Kansas City Chiefs will dog walk the Commanders, make them look stupid because A, Jaden Daniels is out with an injury, and B, they're in Arrowhead, the loudest place in America on a Monday night. I'm going the Chiefs, period.
I'm not saying a damn thing. The check's in the mail. It's written to ref headquarters. The check's there. Every time he touches the ball, I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying all those names you named. You're right. They're a dangerous team. All jokes aside, all ref comments aside, Patrick Mahomes has his team back. And they ought to dog walk the Washington Commanders. I'm only saying I have to pick KC. I do because it makes sense because they got all the weapons. I am like everybody else that in this country, other than one delusional guy sitting in Clare, Michigan, or Rosebush, or wherever the fuck you are. I don't. You've heard it. Matt's heard it. He's a KC fan. Matt's heard it from everybody and their brother. Same thing I want to say. I, for some reason, don't understand why Patrick Mahomes gets the Patrick Mahomes treatment. Why the KC Chiefs get the treatment that the New England Patriots got 10 years ago.
Now,
okay. I'm just saying it. There were so many, and it's not the Detroit Lions game even, which I thought was ridiculous, but Detroit beat themselves. I'll say that.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to be delusional like everybody else saying that the refs played a major contributing part to that game. No. Were there some questionable calls that maybe as Detroit Lions fans did not like? Yes, because we're Detroit Lions fans, right? Let's be realistic. Every time your team, I don't give a shit if you're playing the worst team and you get bad calls by refs on your team, you're going to be bitching about it. I'm not bitching about that. Detroit got beat and they beat themselves. I am saying it sometimes appears, not all the time, because there's times that Patrick Mahomes gets out there and he just puts on a showcase. That's one dude. I do not want to have the ball with that. If you give 15 seconds to that guy, you're fucked. But that guy can make 15 seconds. He can get down to that. He can get down to the end zone in 2. He's that good. He is. But sometimes I feel they got that extra, somehow got that extra person on that side. Instead of playing with 11 players, they play with 12, 13, 14. But I'm going to take the KC. It's logical.
Now, again, as you know, I'm Lions head to toe, but I do like the Kansas City Chiefs. That's my only other team that I really have ever been drawn to. Pittsburgh, because they were always on my TV when I was there. Was okay to explain why I have such a love for these 3 teams. Obviously, I haven't missed a Detroit game since I was born, probably. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they were always on our TV after the Lions game. It was always Kansas City versus somebody or Pittsburgh versus somebody. So that's why I just like the Chiefs. They had Christian Okoye, they had Derek Thomas, they had David Craig, they had Joe Montana for a little bit, they had Tony Gonzalez. They just had dudes that were awesome. I love that team. I love the Steelers for the same reason. They were always on our TV after the Lions game. So it was Steelers country. It was always, they played gritty football. They played hard-nosed football, just like Kansas City does. That's to me football. And that's why I love those 3 teams. And Kansas City, again, people want to talk about the officiating. They want to talk about the officiating in the Detroit Lions game specifically. Now, here's the thing. They were penalized 4 times. Detroit was penalized 4 times that night. 4 times for 38 yards. So 38 yards they gave up via penalties. 2 of those 4 penalties came in the first quarter. 2 of those penalties came on back-to-back plays. The second penalty came because Jared Goff wanted to argue with the officials and not get up and play and snap the ball. Us as Detroit Lions fans, we'd see that possibly with rose-colored glasses and say, well, if he wouldn't have gotten penalized for illegal shift, well, that wasn't illegal shift. Well, no, let me school you people on the game of football. You cannot snap the ball until everyone is set. We're not playing arena league football here. You have to be set and then go. That's how the game of football works. There was too many people in motion. You can't have that. Now, that's 1. Jared Goff decides to argue. That's 2. Okay? Later on in the game, we had a very blatant pass interference call because the guy grabbed a jersey. That's the 3rd one. That's on us. It was blatant. And then the 4th one was a holding penalty, and that's my least favorite call in all of sports. I hate that. I hate that even worse than giving someone a European 3-step in basketball. I hate that because in every play, and my 12-year-old son on the youth in Rocket Junior High football knows that on every play there can be a holding penalty called. There's no need for it, and I disagree with calling it as often as the NFL does because it's not just against the Lions, it's against the whole everybody. those 4 penalties are why we were penalized. That and honestly, why did we put ourselves in the situation for 3 of those 4 to happen? Why? That to me is why Detroit lost that game. That is why we didn't. We did it to ourselves, like you said earlier. It was never anything to do with the officiating of the game.
But I would argue one of them, the hold. I would argue that could have, at the point in time that came, that made a difference in the game. But my thing I'm going to say is, I think whatever all these fans are saying, and including myself, there are a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of players, and I think the refs in the NFL have made a difference in this. You know, you let some guys talk and you let some guys not. Jared Goff decided to argue it, but on any given other play, and I've seen it, I'm not just saying Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes is a Michael Jordan, or I'm sorry, a LeBron James. Let's do that, because I have mad respect for Michael Jordan. I don't have any respect for LeBron James. Patrick Mahomes does it, not just Patrick Mahomes. Goff did it that game. Other players do it. And a lot of these guys get away with it because they're voicing their own opinions. But then it's like game changing. Oh, you arguing with me? There's another flag. That's where I think people are pissed. Why can some players argue something and then Goff does it, and which Goff never argues. Hardly ever does he throw a fit. But he felt that he was wrong, and when he voiced his opinion, up went the flag. I'm not saying that did not cost Detroit the game. Again, I'm going to go back to what I said. Detroit beat themselves. Would it be different? Would that call not came if the game was in Detroit? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Detroit's at home. They would never have got that call. No, I'm not saying that. I'm asking the question, could that have been a difference? Of course, it's going to be a difference. The game was different because they played in KC. The KC Chiefs had their crowd behind them. That's hard to play in Arrowhead. I mean, come on. If they come to Detroit, the crowd noise is there. That's different. I think Detroit beat themselves. So that's my take on that. I would just say the refs in so many games this year have been a difference maker on some calls. I don't believe the refs cost the game at Detroit.
No, and I will never place blame on the officials to win or lose ball games. Yeah. Because and this has been a topic of discussion a lot between myself and Cody Cornett and this other things. One play doesn't dictate the outcome of a football game. It just doesn't. One flag doesn't dictate the outcome of a football game. Right. Because you play 60 minutes of football. Yep. If you execute on the first play of that 60 minutes, and then you execute on the last play, on the last second of the 60 minutes, and you don't execute very much in the 58 minutes between,
right,
you're gonna lose. Yep. You need to execute your game plan for 60 minutes. Yep. If you start veering away and not executing on what you are setting out to do, because in every game plan, every playbook, everything is only as good as the way you execute it.
Yep.
you could have Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, Jim Harbaugh, Urban Meyer, like all these great coaches. Jim Harbaugh, like on and on and on and on. You have the greatest collection of coaches. Throw together the best playbook of all time. Like it ascends from the heavens, and it's golden pages and written in like. And you open up the book and it glows. You could have that playbook, but if you don't execute it,
right,
you're gonna lose ball games.
Right.
And it has to be executed with precision, and it has to be it's got to be perfect. Like every play, we are striving for perfection in an imperfect game. That's how it is. Right. And I refuse to put blame on one play, one official, or one player to a win or a loss of a game.
Yeah.
And that. I guess that's kind of my rant for the week, because I haven't been on here for 4 weeks, so I had to get that off my chest because it's been kind of nagging at me. But yeah,
I do have one thing that came across the ticker. Matt'll like this. Maybe he already knows. I know this is a football show, but Chauncey Billups got arrested.
Yeah, for gambling.
So is he the next Pete Rose? Or the Michael Vick?
I mean, was he gambling on his own team or what? Like,
yeah, him and I can't remember who it was, but him and their point guard.
He's the coach for what, the Portland Trailblazers?
Yeah, Portland Trailblazers. Chauncey Billups and Rozier arrested for gambling investigations. Chauncey Billups. There's my last
6'3", Chauncey Billups.
Anyway.
And again, quick plug again for tonight's show. Join us at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 Central Time. And that's 6 Pacific, I think.
Yes.
Join us for Drop the Mic, Break It Down Radio with Buff Bagwell. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about his life in general. We're going to talk about why today's date in 1993 was such a big deal for him. Or maybe it wasn't, and he just forgets about it. Number 3, we're going to be talking about everything under the sun about Buff the Stuff Bagwell. So join us if you're a wrestling fan or grew up a wrestling fan and watch WCW, maybe American Males, perhaps, if you remember him from that. He was part of the NWO for a little bit, but who wasn't in that era. Feels like the whole roster in WCW was part of the NWO, and I will ask him about that because I'm not afraid anymore because he's across the video screen, and what is he going to do, punch his TV? Anyway, I'm feeling violent today. But anyway, guys, I want to give another shout out to Matt the Duelist, our sister Kim, and whoever else. We had 9 people at one time in here, and thank you all for stopping by and checking us out and listening to me being long-winded like I am right now about the game of football that I love so much. And thank you, Scott, again. A long time we've been dealing with a lot of stuff in our family, and we've been just trying to get through this time of year. It's always difficult. And just thank you for sticking through this with us.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for doing this. Yeah, obviously our YouTube channel followers. I appreciate that. It was, Matt covered them all. Thank you for support. Keep our family in prayers. Lots happening, and tune in, man. Who needs to watch Thursday Night Football? Nobody. You need to watch tonight on this channel. This, like Matt said, and Matt, close the show. You fucking Mark.